Welcome to the September competition meeting. We have about 29 images entered, and our own Cliff Lawson will be the judge tonight. So the usual, we'll start off with the F5.6 category and then F8, etc. Any images that score a 9 or 10, we'll ask the maker to just provide a brief comment about the image for the group. And let's see, I don't see any of the visitors potentially on there. Why don't you, Oz, did you want to say a few words about the email and export next year?
So around this time, we have to start asking people to volunteer for the various tasks that need to be done to run the club. So you might think of what you might want to volunteer for this coming year. And I'll also send out a written thing that Carl will send out to everybody. But I just wanted to give you a heads up that we need to start thinking about that. So I think with that, I'll turn it over back to you.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks. So Cliff will introduce you. Bob, are you ready to go?
Ready to roll.
Okay. So Cliff, if you want to say just a few words about yourself, and if everyone else, if you don't mind muting out as we go through the images, it'd be appreciated.
Yeah, sure. Most of you know me. I've been a member of the club as of June. It was 18 years. So I enjoy judging the club because I know how good this club is, and there's always some really great images. Like some of the other judges, with my background, I use the PPA's 12 elements of a merit image as kind of my guideline. It's a good thing because it helps the judge that may not be familiar with the category to still be able to evaluate an image. If it's a portrait, which is what I do, I can evaluate a portrait. I don't need any real help. I understand lighting and posing and all that stuff. On the other hand, a flower, I don't shoot flowers, but by going to the 12 elements, you can still look at all of those elements of the image and be able to judge it fairly. So that's kind of my that's my background. And unless anybody has any questions, I'm ready to start.
Okay, let's go ahead and do it. Bob, I'll let you go ahead and share your screen. First image should be howdy.
Well, okay. The image is about hats, and we got a hat, but this image still has to stand on its own.
Yeah, I know.
The image still has to stand on its own. And so we have some problems with this. Yeah, there's a hat, but it really isn't in a place that it's the focus of the image. It's just kind of incidental to it. The man's face is underexposed. And I mean, if you were going for a silhouette, then you need a silhouette, but this is just underexposed. So yeah, it's a hat, but the image just really doesn't work all that well. So I'm going to give this a 7.
A stroll on the beach.
Now, this is more like it. This is a hat. Great color here, color harmony. Boy, the image really grabs you when it came up. Great impact. Super composition. About the only comment I'd make on the composition is maybe, and this isn't going to affect the score I give it. I might crop just a little bit out of the top on that. The problems that I'll say what's going to keep this away from a 10 is it's technical stuff. Look at all the dust spots on this image up in the sky. There's a bunch. There's one, well, there's a couple over there on the left, just above the clouds. There's one directly above the hat. And that's really unfortunate, but you got to clean that stuff up. So this would have been a 10, but I'm going to give it a 9 because of the technical issues. So 9. It's too bad because that's really a very creative image.
Pillbox out of the box.
I like this. a couple of technical issues. The black background is good, but there's no detail in those gloves. It just kind of, let me bump up my screen just a little bit, make sure I don't have it too dark. I don't want to judge something here incorrectly. Yeah. Yeah. A little more detail in the gloves would have been good. But the composition of the image is good. It's a nice concept. I'll give this an 8.
Boy with a hat.
Well, we do have a hat, but again, that we look at the total image. The boy's a little underexposed, the face. It's okay, but the hat really is, other than the title, the hat really isn't a major part of the image. And if I were to look at this image without the title and knowing that what the category is, I certainly wouldn't say, oh, this, this is about hats, because it isn't. So an 8 on this one.
I'm all grown up now.
Oh, again, no, that's a hat picture. Boy, sharp as a tack. Really, really nice. My only comment on this that would make it a little better would be it's cropped a little tight. It's the pieces of the hat there, the feathers and some of the I guess that's a veil, are right up against the border or outside the border. But it's really cute, and the fact that this little girl wearing it, I mean, she obviously is a little girl, but she's not the subject. The hat is, and there's lots of detail in that black. I mean, the maker really held the detail nicely in the hat, and with all that black, that's not easy to also hold the detail in the child's skin. So very well done. I like this a lot. That's a 10.
Cowboy coder hat.
Great exposure, good color. It's really nice with that kind of a peach background. I like that. That feather in the hat and the little logo on it is tack sharp. It does blend off or drift off into being out of focus, but that works with this image. It's a nice image, not great, but it's nice. 8.
And that is all the 5.6. We have 1.9 and 1.10. Okay, so this is I'm all growing up. William Williams.
Yes, that actually was my granddaughter. And we were having a birthday party, and I said, hey, everybody bring a hat. Wear your special derby hats or whatever. So all the girls came with hats, and I took pictures of them and whatnot. And actually she's actually on my deck and stuff, and there were some plants behind it. But the reason it's so tight is that I didn't want to exclude, I wanted to exclude all of those plants, and I probably should have done it a different way, just and whatnot, but left it a little more room. But yeah, that's what it was.
Very nice.
Thanks, William. The next one, a stroll on the beach, which is also William
Yeah,
Williams.
that's also me. And I agree with your comment. I was putting these together kind of last minute, and I know better than to not scan the sky and whatnot for spots. And I just muffed up.
Yeah, got to watch that stuff with this digital stuff. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
too bad.
Yep.
But I will say it's very creative. It's really a wonderful image. That hat is really sharp. Kept the skin tones and everything. So it's really a well done image. It's just it's too bad about the spots.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Thanks, anyway.
All right, thanks. All right, on to F8. All right, Mr. Mustard in the kitchen with a knife.
Well, no, he has a pencil, not a knife. Anyway, really nice. I mean, this is a case of where the whole image works. Yeah, we got the hat and a cute child with the hat, but it's composed well. The color's great. The hat is sharp, and so are his eyes. This is a wall hanger. If that's somebody's grandchild or relative, that's really cool. That's a 10. Beautiful, really nicely done.
Cousins.
That's cool. Well, it's an image. We got the hats. One of the things when you're taking pictures of people is the background is almost, if not just as important as the subject. And this image has that road, whatever, a road, or I don't know, the grass strip, and then the road, that black stripe that runs through their heads. And that's really unfortunate because it's kind of and it's too much in focus. It's, I mean, I can see the little weeds. A wider aperture would have at least blurred that background. Because it's so cute of the two kids holding hands. I would have cropped out that, whatever that is over there to the left, the whatever that is. Whether it's, I guess it's a shadow. Yeah, probably is. I would have cropped that out.
You mean on the right?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, thank you. And a square crop would have been better. You got to cut that out. So there's just too many problems with this. It's a 7.
And that is it for F8. So we have the 110. Mr. Mustard in the kitchen with the knife. It's Steve Wilton.
Yeah,
Steve.
that's my grandson will be happy to hear that he got a 10. But it was spontaneous. It's shot with an iPhone.
Cool. Yeah, the phones have gotten really good, haven't they? It's just, it's amazing.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, that's the reason that I was going to comment on this. It's not a big deal. That's one of the reasons the background is more in focus than I would ordinarily like, but it's not tack sharp or anything. But, you know, a real camera, quote, might have had that more of a blur in the background. But yeah, the phones are quite amazing nowadays. In fact, I just ordered an iPhone 13 yesterday, so gonna have to wait a month for it.
Okay, on to F11. So go on ahead.
Clever title. Now this is a 10, by the way. I'll tell you right now, it's a 10. Great use of the black and white. It's a very graphical image. Nice texture in it. I mean, holding that texture in the black hat. There's not much texture, although I can see, yeah, there is. Yeah, there is texture in the white. So that's really, really well done. But the composition is great. That swoop, it makes like a letter C. Very creative, technically excellent. It's a 11. Really well done.
Working.
Very nice. The hat is a little bit brighter, more contrasty than the rest of the subject, which is excellent. The fact that the gentleman is turned away that's really good because it makes it more about the hat than it would be if he were facing the camera. Good use of the depth of field because he just pops right out of the image. And again, there's nice detail in his shirt, in the hat. It's not quite as impactful as as some images, but it's still a great image. 9.
Cooling down.
Clever. This really works as a black and white image, doesn't it? I mean, I can see this in color, and I can see that the black and white is so much better because what does the black and white do? We're always about lines and textures, and that the textures that the water makes on the hat are just excellent. Textures in his hands. I'm going to give this a 10, but I would like to see it with just a little more contrast. You know, if you look at the rocks around the hat, they're kind of, it might be nicer if they had a little more pop to them, a little more contrast, but that's really picking the nits. So yeah, 10. Well done.
Hat stack.
Well, somebody's really into black and white, aren't they? The F11, that's really another, this looks like my closet, by the way. I have a couple of these. Well lit, sharp as can be, very creative. I like this a lot, 10, really well done.
Howdy.
Adorable picture. I'm going to give this a 9, and I'll tell you what keeps it from being a 10 is it's a little, it could use a little more contrast. I don't see, with the possible maybe the exception of what's left of the letters on her shirt, some darker blacks I think would really help this image. But her eyes are sharp. She's adorable. The composition, the dead center composition on this works, by the way. I mean, she's smack dab in the middle and it works. So yes, this is a 9, could use a little more contrast, I think.
Hats on rack.
What I like about this image, and I'd like to see more of it in our competitions, is the presentation with that little frame thing kind of around it. It really helps set the image off. And I would never give points to an image because it has it, and I certainly wouldn't take it away because it doesn't. But from a judge's standpoint, a little mat and a key line around an image really adds to the impact of the image. And it can change a lot of, it can bump an image up 1 score without the judge even knowing why he or she did it. It just makes the image, it just gives the image more impact. But this image itself, great color. Things that are supposed to be sharp are sharp. I like it, 9.
My golf hats.
Well, the black background really works on this to set the hats off. And great title. Yeah, I like this. This is very well done also. 9 on this.
My hometown.
Well, it's great for color, obviously, and it's very colorful image. It certainly wouldn't be good in black and white. I mean, the color is what makes this image, but it is kind of an I was there image. You know, you're walking through a store and you see this. It's nice, but I give it an 8.
A Panama.
It's a great product shot, isn't it? I mean, I could go in a catalog. Let's take a look at the focus here. Really sharp. Looks great. It's almost a monochromatic image, the beige and just the tan hat band. Yeah, I like this a lot. 10, very nicely done.
All right, that is all of F11. Got a lot of 10s and 9s. So go on ahead as Victoria Ashby.
Oh, I'm here. He was unmuting me. Thank you. That is actually my hat, and I like to play with it. It's funny because it was kind of like at the last minute. So it's sitting on top of my vacuum cleaner.
Well, at
Yeah,
least the
just-
image doesn't. At least the image
Yeah.
doesn't suck. Yeah, good.
Yeah, and used the black background, and it took several shots to get what I wanted. But thank you.
Well,
That's
you got it. Well done.
Thank you.
Working, yeah, this is working. Joe Rouses. Is Joe on? All right, he did leave a comment. He just said image of a laborer in New York City. All right, here's cooling down, Allie Green. Is Allie on today? All right, no comments on that one. Hat stack, this was mine. And yeah, I just took my stack of hats out of the closet and set them on an old piece of fence, and it's actually lit with a strobe, but yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, that's good.
Thank you. And howdy, this is also Allie Green. No comments there from her. Hats on Rack is Bill Dixon. Is Bill on? No comments from Bill provided. My golf hats, this is Lucius Ashby.
This is my golf hats. This is just, my wife trying to fuss at me. This is our bedroom. My hats just, that's how they are all the time. On the hat rack in the bedroom.
Cool. And then a Panama, that's also Lucius.
That's another one of my golf hats.
Cool. And, you know, it's really well lit. I mean, very evenly lit. That's really well done. That's a great image.
We were going back and forth, and I told her I wanted to use a natural light outside rather than inside. So that helped it a lot by being outside in the shade.
Yeah.
Direct sun.
Yeah, looks good.
Lucius, this is Oz. How did you not have anything else showing except the hat?
I got to talk to my assistant.
I love the black background.
How did you light yours, Victoria? On the go on ahead. Just curious how you lit that.
I hung mine. I did mine indoors. I did mine
Okay.
indoors with lighting. So I hung mine from a wall.
Okay. Interesting. All right, so that's F11 on to F16.
That's
This
nice.
is Marta.
The image is outstanding, but here's my problem. The subject matter is hats, and the subject here is Marta, or whatever her name is. As a portrait, this is a 10. As a hat image, it's an 8, because all we really have is, I don't really see the hat. I mean, we got, you know, the underside of it, but
I mean, one option here, Cliff, is, you know, it could be disqualified and then the maker could re-enter it, right? Isn't that?
yeah, you know, thank you for reminding me of that. I agree. I'm going to DQ this one because this should be entered under people or portraits or something. This is really a nice image. And I don't want to give it a score that they can't, that will hurt their yearly standings, even though they could re-enter it. So let's just say this doesn't meet the category and move on and re-enter it where it belongs, because it's really a good image.
Okay, birding overhead.
Well done. No question about the hat and the person with the binoculars looking up like that. This is great, and in black and white, it's just super. Let me take a look here. Good detail in the hat, detail in the shirt. I don't know whether the maker just grabbed this as someone was looking, or this is posed. Doesn't matter, but it's a 10. It's really, everything about it is well done. Great image.
Joe.
Outstanding image. I think there's enough of a hat here, even though it's really a picture of the individual. But the total image is just great. What a wonderful pose on that guy. The lighting on his face, the shadows are well placed. I'm going to give it a 10 because the whole thing is just excellent. The hat isn't really isn't the focal point like I think it should be, but the whole thing is so good, and the hat is certainly makes the image. So I'll defend my 10, but really well done. I love it.
Elbert County Hat Rack.
See, now look at this presentation. This is what I'm talking about. A nice mat with a little white key line around it. It really helps set the image off. And as I said, I wouldn't give points for it, and I wouldn't take it away without it. But it just helps the impact of the image. This is also really, really well done. Great color, very clever, clever title too. Putting the hat on the fence post with the barbed wire. It's a 10. Really well done. Very creative.
FDNY retired.
Very cool. Great color harmonies here with the oranges of the numbers against the blues of the seat and the very neutral grays and blacks of the fireman's helmet. Great storytelling in this image also. Yeah, I'm going to go with a 10 on this. I was between a 9 and a 10, but I'm going to stick with my 10. That's very well done. Sharp as can be. Great use of the color. Yeah, 10.
Where's my hat?
Nice presentation on this and excellent composition with the hat not stuck in the middle, but on that leading line fence, the fence post. Really, I really like this. This is a 10 also. Just great color, great composition, very creative. 10.
Havana Hout.
Well, like I said, the whole image has to work, and it does. The young lady is well exposed. Her eyes are sharp as can be. So is the hat. That little jaunty pose there. Nicely done with her hand. It's posed by a person who knows what to do with hands in portraits. You don't show the back of the hand, you show the knife edge on it. Looks really, really good. It's a 10 and it's very well done. I love it.
They call me Mellow Yellow.
This is outstanding use of color, just outstanding. That rich blue against the yellow. The only nit I have to pick with this, and I'm not going to have it count against the score, is you cut off the back of the hat. It would have been good to see that back. I'm going to assume, because I am so generous, that that's where the hat actually ends right there. But just the eyes and nose poking out with all that blue, the negative space of the black on our right side. The only problem with this image is my name's not down on the bottom of it. It's a 10.
At the drop of a hat.
That is amazing. You know, I've done some of this photography like this, and it's not easy, you know, to catch it just at the right time. And if the maker tells me that he or she made this with the hat in mind, I'm going to call him a liar. But that is really cool. That's a 10. Very well done.
Stack of hats.
Good color. But I'm going to give this an 8, and I'll tell you why it's not. You know, you saw a stack of hats earlier that I gave it a 10 to. If the top hat had been at least more in focus, I'd have given it a 9. But I mean, we got the colors, and but it just fades away to the soft, and that's a major part of the image. That all that softness back there. And I'm going to change my mind. It's a 9. It's better than an 8. It's a 9. But if things had been sharp with that stack, it would have flirted with a 10, but 9.
National pastime circa 1933.
This looks like it was light painted, and it doesn't really matter, but that's what it looks like, and it's really well done. This is really cool. The leather pieces are really sharp. Great detail in the leather and in the ball. Well lit. Excellent composition and a nice dark background. This is a 10 also. Beautifully. Oh, this is really nice. 10. This is what I'm expecting from the F16 group.
2 hats.
Okay, cool image. But here's my problem. If it weren't for the title, I wouldn't know this was hats. It's an abstract. It's a very cool abstract. It's a cool color. But it's just two patterns. I mean, looking at, yeah, I can see where there's the crown of the hat over to the right side. And it's a very cool image, but it doesn't really capture the hats part. So I give this is an 8.
Cliff,
Yeah.
This is Oz, would you consider this to be a DSQ?
Well, I don't know. You can certainly talk me into it, because I can see this being entered in abstracts or other categories and really doing
Right.
well.
Yeah,
If I were judging abstracts, this would be a 9 or a 10. But as for hats, I'm not buying it for a hats. So yeah, let's do that. Let's just pass this one on to another category sometime, and we won't punish the maker.
because it is a good image.
Yeah, it is.
So that is it. That is it for the F16. So if we want to go back, birding overhead, that's Oz Vinegar.
Well, this was actually a grab shot taken in Ethiopia on a birding trip. And this lady and her husband were doing a big year trip around the world to get as many birds as possible.
Oh, geez.
So they broke the record of something like 4,300, which is out of 10,000 birds. So her arms were really bright, so I darkened those, and I figured it was much better as a black and white than as a color image.
Yeah. No, that was a good choice. This is an image that makes you smile. Yeah, well done.
Well, thank you.
Is Joe by Ron Cooper.
This is a guy that I have photographed on 5 or 6 different occasions. He's a rancher in Española, New Mexico. And the reason I put him in this category of hats is, as many times as I've seen him, I've never seen him without his hat. And to me, it's part of his personality.
Yeah.
But your comments are well taken. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a great, when I saw this, I thought, I'll bet that's Ron's image. So yeah, it looks like the stuff you do. Really nice.
Thank you.
Elbert County Hat Rack, that's Dave Hull.
Well, thank you very much for your comments. I appreciate that. I really enjoy going out on the dirt roads in Elbert County, wide open spaces, dirt roads, very rural. I feel very much at home in Elbert County. I was actually out there driving around trying to get storm clouds, and the clouds kind of faded away. They all kind of fell apart. The light was very, very flat, but I saw this fence post and I just walked over and put my hat on it. I liked the way the barbed wire kind of pointed into the hat. I applied a radial filter. The light was really flat, and so I applied a radial filter on the hat to kind of make it pop out a little bit. But that's all. Thank you very much for your comment.
Thanks, Dave. FDNY retired, there's Dan Greenberg.
Yeah, and so that is something that I found at a car show inside or sitting on the seat of a 1940 auto car fire engine that's been made into a hot rod, believe it or not. And I just couldn't resist it. And Cliff, I'm really glad you like it. And luckily somebody else did. That's actually a picture that sold at one point. So I was very happy with that, especially considering it's not my normal kind of thing. So
yeah, I can see that hanging a lot of places, Dan. That's really nice.
Thank you.
Where's My Hat by Gwen Patton.
Yeah, this was taken down by Westcliff. And I have launched on a project with to look for fence posts, and I have a collection of 4 hats that I use. And so this is just one of those photos. And I took this late in the day, so the lighting is good. And I took it with my iPhone XR. I have since upgraded to a 12 Pro.
Yeah, you can't tell it's an iPhone. It's well done.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gwen. Havana Hout by Todd Lytle.
Hi, and this is Dan again. Todd's not here tonight because he had a business appointment, but I can tell you about this picture. The person's name is Rocio. She's a professional model. She was 20 at the time when Todd and I went to Cuba, and Todd hired her, and she's a fantastic model. You can tell she's got, great face, great moves, great everything else. Todd was trying to look for different kinds of props, so bought this hat on the street somewhere for he bought 2 of them for $5 each, equivalent of $5 each. Turned out to be a ripoff, as he later on found them for much cheaper, but in the middle of Havana in the tourist district. And yeah, basically this was just done, by the side of the Hotel National, I believe. And like I said, she's a great model. She has her own modeling agency. She speaks fluent English, and she's actually been in a Fast and Furious movie. So
Wow.
there you go.
Wow, cool. Yeah, she's gorgeous.
So how many people think she looks like Meghan Markle?
I don't know.
Yeah,
In real
yeah.
life, I didn't think so much, but in this picture, I kind of do.
No,
So-
Yeah, that's the first thing that I thought when I saw it.
Yeah, she kind of does have some of the features of her. So, and I'll tell Todd, he'll be happy that I got a 10.
This is They Call Me Mellow Yellow by Travis Broxton.
Yeah, I was in Pittsburgh shooting a wedding, and it was the day after the wedding. I was just driving around Pittsburgh, just seeing what it looked like. And I actually took this while stopped at a red light, and this guy walked past with his hat and all pulled up jacket or whatever it was. So I took this from sitting in the driver's seat as he was walking past the passenger side.
Good grief. Travis, I get sick and tired of hearing how you take these shots out the driver's side window as you're just driving past something. You're really kind of getting on my nerves.
I'm sorry. So yeah, that's all it was. So I did black out. There was some distractions there from storefronts and stuff, so I blacked that out. But that's really all I did to it. I popped the yellow a little bit and popped the blue a little bit.
Yeah,
So that was all.
It's really nice. Very well done. I love it.
This is Oz. On that previous picture, I think if the full hat were in the picture, then the proportions wouldn't be very good. Just my comment.
Oh, on Travis's picture?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it could be just ever so slight. I see what you mean. If it was too much, then I agree. But it didn't hurt the score. So yeah, you're right.
Yeah, just a little comment.
I think the car side window was kind of blocking, and I think I photoshopped that top blue awning thing in a little bit. So
yeah.
That's probably why I cut off right there.
So The Drop of a Hat, this is Butch Mazuka. Is Butch on? He wasn't sure if he was going to be dialing in or not.
Pretty cool though, isn't it?
So he did provide he'd sent me a description of how he did this. And I don't know if he did it to create a hat. So I can't answer that for you, Cliff, but he had some kind of an electronic unit that he could meter out the water drops and precisely time them. And then I'm trying to remember the whole description, had 2 strobes, and then a background was like a gold reflector. But yeah, pretty involved. But
if you got a device that's helping you shoot, that's cheating. You're supposed to do it by eye and get about 99 bad ones to get a good one. But
exactly.
This is Oz again. I read what Butch had written, and I think his setup would actually emit 2 drops, and they collided and gave this effect. Something like
really?
that.
Yeah,
It's
really.
very complicated, and it took him hours to do this.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
so they're one after the other. So the one's bouncing back up.
Yeah,
There's the splash from the one that's rising up, and then the next one hits it.
yeah.
And
That
I'm
makes sense.
sure he didn't try for a hat. It didn't happen.
No, he just got one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. Next one, stack of. Oh no, we did have another. Yeah, stack hats. That's also Travis.
That was I took that in a hat shop in Newark, New Jersey. I was just visiting family and walking around the streets, and they had these colorful hats, and that was just it was up on a high rack somewhere, high shelf somewhere. So that's, I didn't plan it out at all.
Yeah.
But I was just struggling looking for hat shots. That's why this would ended up.
Right. Yeah.
And this is National Pastime circa 1933, also Butch. And it is light painted. You said it's a vintage hat and ball and mitt and everything. But yeah, you're spot on there, Cliff. He did say light painted. That I can't remember what else you said about it. But
Light painting is really cool because you get an effect that you cannot get any other way.
Yeah.
But the different, you end up with 5 or 6 or 10 or 20 different layers that you put together then. And it just gives a really cool look like this that you can't do that with strobes. Yeah, you can't. It's really cool.
yeah. So that is all of them. That's a wrap.
Okay.
All right.
I don't think I answered your question of how we got that there. I that was software. It was sitting on a pole and I just took the pole out.
I think you're on mute there. I was hearing something.
Yeah, you're right. Thanks very much for that explanation.
So that is it for the competition this month. So thanks everyone for your entries and for attending tonight. Guess we'll just see everyone on the program in October. Yeah, it's October coming up already. Yeah.
And as usual, as the judge, I want to say how good the images are from this club. Really, you guys really do nice work.
Oh, and thank you, Cliff. Yeah, I'm sorry I neglected to
No, that's
thank
all
you
right.
for taking the time to judge tonight and also provide the very good comments, critical comments that we can take and learn from.
Cliff, thank you very much for your judging, your comments.
Yes, sir.
This was very good, Cliff. Thanks.
All right. Well,
Hi, everybody.
thanks.
Hi.
All right.
Night,
Bye.
all.
Hi, everybody.